Welcome to Rebel Watch, an all-Star Wars podcast.
Hey, what are you trying to push on us?
Perhaps you think you're being treated unfairly?
Hey Star Wars fans, welcome to Rebel Watch. I'm Ez, and I'm joined by my trusted co-pilot and yours, Mike. How's it going today, brother?
Not so trustworthy.
Yeah, I was wondering who put that in the script.
Not us.
I then
That was
I'll admit
no one here.
honestly, though, you doing all right?
Yeah, doing okay, man. Doing okay. Ready to talk about Star Wars with a heavy Solo influence.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff happening today. Actually, we've got the Solo trailer is coming out. We're actually recording this on a Sunday, so we've seen like the teaser and things. But then later tonight, we're going to get to watch that trailer. So that's going to be our big topic. Yeah. We will be bringing that to you here in just a little bit. So I'm excited for that. Actually, I think it's. I didn't even know what was happening. Nope. I honestly had no clue until you said something about it this morning. So
it's exciting stuff.
Yeah. So council voters, just some show updates. We want to get some information out to you guys. We are still working with Barnes & Noble. Mike and I actually, right after this podcast, we're heading over there to kind of officially get things underway for the live show. That has moved a little closer to the 25th, but I think the weekend before that, I think we're shooting for like on a Saturday. So we'll let you know. We'll get that confirmed.
Absolutely.
And a couple other things. We're still continuing with the book club. Have you downloaded Fatal Alliance?
Fatal Alliance. I'm in part 1.
Okay. All right. Good.
Prologue was interesting, but
there's a lot of characters to follow.
There was, and I was driving, and I probably restarted it 3 times.
Me too. Actually, I was trying to get the whole Jedi Apprentice thing, figuring out what was going, who is his master, that sort of thing.
It was interesting.
We're getting into that, and I'm excited for that. So, you will, I think, after this episode, you'll have a Journey Through Star Wars episode 2 later this week. So make sure you check that out.
How's Tiffany doing on that, by the way?
She's doing well.
Ready to face her trial?
No, it's. I don't think she's ready quite yet. But
interesting.
We're getting
too
there.
Old.
She might be too old. She might be too old to face the trials.
Maybe her child isn't, though. There may still be hope.
A ship?
A cop.
A cop. She hasn't even got that far yet. So I'm not sure how we're going to get her through.
Funny.
No, she's actually doing wonderful, and she always has really good questions, good. I'm excited for that. She actually said the other day, she's like, why haven't I podcasted with Mike yet? And I said,
that's a great question.
I've been asking that since episode 4.
We just seem to miss each other,
Yeah.
It's like, 6th grade or 30 years old. We just never seem to connect.
Just never really got, never got there.
Okay.
Interesting though, we will be, Mike and I purchased tickets for Solo in Ohio. So I'm going to make a little plug here for Rebel Force Radio. An awesome podcast. If you guys haven't heard them, Mike and I listened to them. They're very savvy.
Absolutely.
They're kind of like an older version of us.
I hope.
If I can give us a little credit.
I really thought that we needed to start talking a little slower. And that may come with time.
That may
age. But
come with time. We need to really gather our, thoughts before we speak.
That's right.
That's right. Sense.
No, I think it would. I think in time we'll just naturally slow down. But they are really great guys, and I've really enjoyed their Star Wars theater that they've been doing with some of the old scripts and stuff. It's really entertaining stuff.
It is.
It's really entertaining stuff. They're having so much fun, and they have to be in their 40s.
Yeah, they are.
Their 50s.
They are. Yeah, and they've been doing a podcast for over 10 years. So when we got into podcasting, that was the first one that we checked out. I had seen them back in the day, early on cons and stuff. Had kind of heard about them and things, but never really checked them out. But Jason and Jimmy are the way to go. So good guys. They're hosting something up in Cleveland, a little Solo in Ohio, and we're looking forward to that. So we're gonna watch the film. And then we're going to have a live podcast with those guys, so we'll get to listen in on their reactions. That's exciting.
That's very exciting.
So maybe we'll see Tiffany up there.
Maybe she'll make it out. Maybe she'll be in labor then. I don't know. And I have no idea when she's
We'll be right down the road, but we'll see if she makes it out.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right, let's jump into the HoloNet. This is our Star Wars news section here. Yeah, we're working on those sound bites, and the trailer has dropped. Right,
Yeah.
so that was one of the big things that we wanted to talk about. That's going to be our big discussion later on. Just sort of reacting to it, getting a nice deep discussion about what we saw, and so we'll kind of save that for later on. But that has dropped, and so if you haven't checked that out. When this airs, you need to go do so. So, Mike, the next point here, I mean, you brought this up to me today, which was interesting.
Solo, there's going to be a screening of Solo. I think it's 10 days prior to the premiere.
Yeah.
So like May 15th or whatever. And which is interesting and somewhat unique for Star Wars. I think I read that there's only been 2 other Star Wars movies that have actually premiered at a film festival prior to a premiere, and that was Episode 2 and Episode 3.
Yeah.
Interesting choices.
Right.
But maybe there was a lot of hype after Episode 1. Maybe didn't do so well. So maybe there was some hype that these 2 movies would be better than their prior installments. But Solo's gonna be showing at the Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting stuff.
It's interesting because you said that it almost shows a confidence that they might have in this film, to get it out there in this, which is, I don't really understand it, but I guess it's not something that they typically do, right?
I think you have to have a confidence that it's going to be 10 days prior to the premiere. There are going to be some people that maybe haven't made up their mind or whatever. So you have those critics that may be seeing this movie and saying, this is really going to be worth your time. And if you had especially with Star Wars, if you had a junk movie that, everyone's been worried about Solo after The Last Jedi, are they just going to write this one off? This is going to flop? Right. No one really wants this story, but they must be at least a little confident in what they have, and they're getting some positive feedback so far. So I thought that initially, but then when I read that the other 2 movies that they premiered prior were Episode 2 and Episode 3,
right?
That kind of made me take a step back a little, but maybe not.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know.
We'll see. It's something to ponder and think about. I did not know that they had released, film festival, or they had Episode 2 and 3 had came out during a film festival. So that's cool. That's neat. Other news: we have The Last Shot Solo novel is going to be released next Tuesday. Yeah. So that'll be interesting. We kind of had to go back and we looked into the archives here on StarWars.com and have a little description here for you guys. It basically spans 3 time periods, and you get this bit with Han and Lando. Lando's in a pickle, okay? Yes. And Cloud City is at risk, and this has been out for a while, so this is not anything major. They kind of, I don't know that they spoil a lot of it, but they definitely give us a big synopsis of what may happen in this novel. And it's written by Daniel Jose Older, I think. Yeah. And so, anyways, it's set in these 3 different time periods where you've got post Episode 6, that's considered the present, I guess, for this novel, and then you'll have some flashbacks to a time when Lando owned the Millennium Falcon, and then when Han owned it as well. And it kind of centers around, I can't remember his name exactly. There's a. Oh, his name is Gore, right? Yeah. Fenn's Gore, and he's after Lando, and he doesn't really necessarily know Han Solo's name, but he knows the Falcon, and it's sort of Han's fault that Lando's in the situation that he's in, and so you just get some interesting dynamics. It's cool. I think Maz is in this. Yes. Which was neat. I read a little bit about that. And Ben Solo, a young Ben Solo, is in this novel too.
That's going to be the juicy meat, I think, of this. That'll tie in nicely, hopefully, with Life Debt, the Aftermath series.
Absolutely.
That's what I want. I want more of that. The running around and the smuggling will be cool, but I want to know what's troubling Han Solo.
Exactly. Yeah.
I want to know.
Well, because we know in Aftermath he has a couple things. With Life Debt, he's got a situation he's got to attend to early on, and then he's got the situation with Lando. It's almost like his past kind of catches up with him after the war, and he's got some old debts and things he needs to settle. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a
Oh, the little clip.
little something? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was a clip that's been released of this book, and it was. I mean, it's a long one, so we won't read the whole thing. But the end of the clip reads: "The wall beside Han exploded, showering them both with debris as they hurtled out of the way. That wasn't a regular blaster," Han said, glancing up. A cruel reptilian face glared out from the lit doorway. "You got us tangled up with a Trandoshan. I think. I actually don't know how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Which had me thinking. I wasn't even familiar with that species. Looked it up. That's Bossk. It would have to be.
It is. Yeah.
Right?
It is.
Which is so cool.
Yeah. Yep. It is really neat.
Cue the train.
Cue the train. Sorry about that. Yeah. So it's neat that he's in this, and it's neat that we're going to see now. This is you're looking at the last shot, right? Is that what that came from?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that
they're
might
at
be.
they're at Maz's castle.
Oh, okay.
On Takadano.
Takadana, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's where this kind of goes down.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm excited to see a little more of Maz.
Yeah.
Her character, in my opinion, was kind of ruined with the Last Jedi, which kind of stinks. But it'd be interesting to see her some more here and how that relationship of theirs kind of built, where there's a lot of trust there.
Yeah, where Han trusts her, and that's the person he would go to
to
get information back to the Resistance. So yeah, that'll be neat to kind of see that. You also have a reference in here, Lando's droid, 3L37.
Yeah.
So, or L3, is it L3?
Yeah, which
L3?
I'm assuming he's the Alpha 5 lookalike.
Yeah,
from the trailer.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, okay, yeah. That's what I was trying to think.
That's who that is.
Yeah. So that'll be neat. We'll get some more information on their relationship and things in that novel too.
Heck yeah.
It's exciting stuff. We also have a novel coming out on the 25th called Most Wanted.
Yes.
And I think you and I had read something last week about that novel, so we kind of went into Qi'Ra and Han and their potential relationship on Corellia and how that had maybe started, and we might get some juicy tidbits from that. We had the release dates mixed up, or at least I did, and this is actually coming out on the 25th. I thought this was going to come out first.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. I guess this could have some real, some spoiler material.
I think you're absolutely right.
It's the same day. It's the same day release.
Same day
as the film.
The kind of the description they've given it doesn't have much, so that'll be interesting. That's good. There's a lot to read about Solo. I never thought we'd be reading so much about Solo or watching Solo in such a small period of time, but by God, we're going to do it.
We are. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the HoloNet. If you have other articles or things you'd like to discuss, hit us up. Send us an email, and we'll check those articles out. On to one of my favorite things.
Hello.
In the show, pondering with Kenobi.
He's always pondering.
He is. It's a great time. This is where we take a look at our top 3 questions from the past week, and these could be questions that you guys provide, our patrons provide, whoever it may be. And the first question we have, we're kind of wondering what expanded universe characters might appear in Solo.
Yeah.
And from what you just read, the idea, there's more on Bossk in the expanded universe than there is, in the films and when we see him in Empire Strikes Back. But yeah, it would be kind of interesting to see what bounty hunters we might see in this film. Will we see Dengar? Will we see Bossk? Will we see Zuckuss and some of these other guys? Forlom and stuff. Will we see them? I don't know. The people from I was just reading the other day some stuff about Han's past when he was orphaned on Corellia. The guy that takes him under his wing. Yeah. Would we see maybe something there?
I think we absolutely will.
You think we will? Yeah.
Even if it's just like a brief. I mean, not as brief as like Rey's kind of like goodbye to her parents, but something a little more substantive than that. But like something of that nature of.
Well, because we got that with Jyn Erso, right? We got like a childhood
Jyn
shot.
Erso, that's a perfect comparison.
So I think we might get something quick like that. They might not name the individual. I think it was Shriek or something like that.
Yeah.
Is the guy's name? I can't remember. But it sort of finds, Han has been his parents. I don't know if they died in the mines, the Corellian mines, or something like that. But yeah, so that's a trilogy. You were looking for the books the other day. We're trying to get into the Han Solo trilogy. It's one I never read, to be honest with you.
You can only find the Hutt Gambit. I've only found 2 copies of that, and all of Central Ohio, and but the others are eluding me. But I'm gonna probably just hit them up on Amazon, try to finish that out. But I don't know. I'd be curious to see if they'll tap into any of that, especially with the Chewie story. But I think they might be going a little there, and it's more of his teenage years, like maybe younger teenage years in that trilogy at the beginning, at least.
Yeah, and we got to give a shout out here to Luke Elder, is our friend who came up with this question.
And a patron, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
And a patron.
Thinking about Solo and sort of what may happen, who we may see. So he's talking to Mike about this, and I thought we'd throw it in there. We need to get his thoughts. I
got to pick him up. I'm gonna see you, handsome SOB. I need to sit you down. I don't care if you got the baby, strapped.
That's right,
to your chest, in shot, in camera. But
it's never too young to start podcasting.
Never too young to start podcasting. The force is strong with that one.
Right,
I can sense it. Yeah. But he mentioned he came up to me at work. He's like, "Hey, Mike, I was thinking about this. Who's a character that we may be able to see in Solo from this kind of expanded universe that is Rebels, that is Clone Wars, things like that?" And he mentioned Hondo. Mm-hmm. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Oh yeah,
but that could fit, right? I mean, a pirate. We really don't know too many pirates, so to speak. And Hondo was kind of a fun character that I could see playing well with Han Solo. So
right,
or like a mentor, like he was kind of with Ezra a little bit.
Yeah.
But a little grittier. But we'll see. I thought that was a really interesting idea.
Right, or some kind of reference from, like Rebels or Clone Wars or something. Yeah. Even if it's not like explicitly their name, will we see a ship? Will we see a droid?
Yes.
Something that clues us in that that's a connection to the EU. So
do we still think we're going to see Boba?
I don't know. No,
I've kind of gotten away from that.
If we do, it'll be in tonight's trailer.
Great. I mean, I feel like they could drop something like that.
If they dropped that, let me tell you, people would go.
Yeah.
I mean, people would literally go to see Boba Fett again.
I think they would too.
That's straight up, it would be. And they also could save it as one of those things where you save that for when we get there and that first wave of people in. We didn't know Boba was going to be there, and he's this epic part. And then word of mouth, you guys have to go see this film.
Yeah.
That could take shape.
And you know what else I think they're going to do with this trailer they show tonight? I think they're going to put it for the previews for Infinity War.
Sure.
Which is just going to draw up even more. If they had a Boba Fett scene in there.
Oh, man.
Or just just they pan to his mask really fast at the end and that's it or whatever.
Right.
That'd be kind of tight.
That would be.
And I think that could draw in some folks that are a little skeptical of this.
Right. Yeah, that'd be total fan service, but we would enjoy it.
Super. But these are the times to do it, though. We were talking about that earlier.
Have fun with it, yeah.
They're never going to bring in a Hondo or someone in the main saga series. They're gonna. That's what's cool about these standalones. They can tell their own particular story in a little glimpse of time and throw in these cool characters.
Right.
Even if it was Saw Gerrera. I mean, he had a significant part in that movie. It may have been brief, but he had a significant impact with Jenner. So, and you especially see that in Rebel Rising, which kind of follows her from her youth, where Saul picks her up on. But this is the time to do it. Give us Boba. Give me Bossk.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a little feud. I don't know.
Oh, sure they do. Actually, yeah. You're right about the whole Saul Gerrera situation where we got this in Clone War, and then we now see it in a big motion picture. I mean, we see him there. So I don't know. They've done it before. They've shown us that they're willing to do it. It just depends on the character and depends on the story that they're telling. If it's outside of the main saga, sure, there's more likelihood that they would do that. So, okay, on to our third pondering. Is Rey no one?
Everyone's favorite topic.
Will JJ retcon it? And I was talking with Hammy at Balanced Padawan on Twitter.
Yep,
By the way, hit me up on Twitter at Womprat_2M for 2 meters.
Right.
They were no bigger than that.
They aren't.
You can bullseye them with your T16. So make sure you hit me up there on Twitter. I'm having conversations and posting some of our ponderings and jumping into some threads here just to get some reaction. And so during this discussion, Hammy mentions on the other side of the internet today, Rey's parents being someone significant. Kylo lying to Rey about said parents. Wow. Y'all still out here looking at her past. This is why Reylos are going to be right again about her future.
You're right.
So now, and I was sort of like, all right, what do you think? What are you thinking here, Hammy? Like, give me some more. Take this further for me. And the discussion turned. Hammy mentions, yes, she's no one. Maz said in The Force Awakens, the belonging you seek is not behind you; it is ahead. In Last Jedi, she went looking for that belonging. Luke didn't give it to her. The dark side cave didn't, and Kylo offered, but it only made her realize her place, and it's with the Resistance.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good. Yeah. I think
that's a great point.
Yeah, it is. It's sort of like, let's not the past is really not important here, and that's very interesting. It's not what we thought, but it still works. It's still a Skywalker story through Ben Solo. You have to kind of remember that. And his Force connection, his Force time that he has, FaceTime with Rey, is significant. And
so
what are you thinking?
Let's talk a second about let's break bread.
Go ahead.
About not necessarily so much Reylo, but Hammy's first point that. In J.J. Abrams' The Force Awakens, Maz does say they're gone and they're never coming back.
Yeah.
Have we, as Star Wars fans, contrived up this idea that Rey is someone meaningful in the galaxy with maybe Skywalker or Kenobi heritage? Yeah. Have we done that and ignored simple statements like that? Yep. Have we done that? I feel like we have. Especially, I don't know. J.J. Abrams himself hasn't come out and said, I mean, obviously he's not going to, though Simon Pegg did recently say he had a direction, and he doesn't really go into specifics, but he says he has a direction with her lineage, or he had one that may or may not have been kind of twisted due to Rian Johnson's story. That makes me think that those suspicions we had initially were true. Yeah. But then when you read just that simple statement there, like Hammy makes a good point, she says that. Maz has been around for 1,000 years. Right. If anyone would know, she would know.
Right. She doesn't know. She literally said, who's the girl?
Yeah.
I mean,
which the way they cut that scene with Han, I mean, I was one to say,
sure,
something else is there.
Yeah, and I think that was intentional, right? They wanted it to kind of be a little ambiguous, but and I think Ryan actually caught on to that and then said, "Yeah, I can see where the thread where you would plant that seed and you could take it this direction, but what's the hardest thing, as he said in the doc, for her to face is that her parents are actually no one."
Yeah.
Now, I do want to bring up something.
Okay.
Though,
yeah.
if we're going to go down this, and by the way, with pondering with Kenobi is a place where we ask a question and then we go on a tangent. It can take us in 3 different places, and it's fantastic. It's why we did it. Think about in The Force Awakens when we see in the Force vision, you see a young Rey with Unkar Plutt, and the transport is leaving, and she's crying out, right? No, come back, right? So, were they just going to another spot on Jakku? Were they going off-world? Like, did that look like a junk ship? Did it seem like it was something more?
Great point.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like when Kylo says, they were, filthy junk traders, and they were selling her for drinking money.
Yep.
Perhaps, my friends, that was the front. That's what they wanted to present. You know what I mean?
That was the purpose, was to make Ben Solo and the First Order think that, right? Well, maybe he wasn't Kylo Ren then, but they knew a darkness was out there.
Yeah, exactly. So, and there are, we've learned in Legends, and Mike and I, especially in the Old Republic, such thing as like a force block, something that is put in your mind to where you don't remember who your parents are. That's legitimately happening in Fatal Alliance as we read it right now. So I don't know, when I think of like when they go to either leave her there or what have you, I I don't know, man. I just think there is something more to it. There is something more. It is okay for us to believe and for her to think that she is no one, and it's okay for her to be someone. Maybe she's not super significant, and maybe she's something completely different or related to someone completely different that we don't know about, and it's a different part of the galaxy that we've never really gotten into. I don't know.
And what else has Ben gonna tell her? Oh yeah, you're Luke's daughter. Join me. Like that's not.
No,
that would just solidify where she stands.
Yeah.
So what else is he going to tell her? He knows that's something that she wants an answer. He's going to give her the answer that puts him in favor of maybe her joining him.
Right?
Why not?
And she is the one who says, she does supply the answer, and so people will point to that and say, well, Rey's the one who actually says, that she's no one, and that she's, that her parents were no one.
Yeah.
And, and he fills in some of the details. But I think the point is, why does Rey believe that? Is it because they actually were no one? Or is it, or they're, filthy junk traders or whatever?
Yeah.
Or is that the facade that her parents had her believing? You know what I mean? Is that really what she remembers? Is that, maybe there's a force, this is the part of them that or maybe she's done a little digging and she's sort of put two and two together. Like, yeah, I've seen, Unkar does this with other children. There are other kids that he's done this with, and sort of kind of
absolutely
puts two and two together. I wouldn't be surprised if that was something like that. Now, I'm also, Hammy, completely fine with her being no one.
I am too.
I'm completely fine with that, actually. I think it's very interesting.
I think it's kind of cool, though, you mentioning maybe her parents, maybe her dad's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. And maybe she couldn't sense it because he cut himself off from the Force.
Maybe.
Maybe. We don't know.
Right.
Maybe JJ will come in and just take what Ryan did and turn it over.
Right. Exactly.
We'll see.
We'll see.
He's totally capable of doing it.
Yeah.
If he had a story he wanted to tell. I mean, it's still possible. He just maybe won't have Luke Skywalker there to do some of the things he's going to. But
yeah, I think some people, though, have really ironed out and laid down the idea that Rey is no one.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Well, I mean, but like I've heard other podcasts and say that clearly this is what Rian Johnson wanted her, like this is fact that it is no one. No, not necessarily. I think it's that the Force Cave, the Mirror Cave doesn't give her the answer.
That's right.
What the little that she does know is what Kylo is able to pull from her.
Mm-hmm.
She's unsure. I get that she's seeking this belonging because it's gone. So we're all kind of filling in these vague holes and trying to piece it together. And it does. You can make that logical.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. We kind of come to the same conclusion that Rey comes to.
Yeah.
I'm no one. Okay, and that's her biggest fear. That's what she's worried about. That's why she's seeking this in Han. She's seeking this in Luke, and then she knows someone else who's gone through this, so she seeks out Kylo because he knows what it's like to be lonely and to not have anyone, and so she seeks him out after the Mirror Cave.
And that supports the bigger story going on in the galaxy.
Yeah.
That it's going to take a bunch of nobodies.
Yes,
to take out the First Order, but you know what? It also took a legend.
It did.
So you can very well.
You can totally go either way. And I don't think it would be a complete retcon. I don't think it's people are kind of like, well, they're going to have to do a big about face here or whatever. It's just sort of like she's left with the impression no one else is giving them. Matter of fact, here are the names of your parents, and here's who they are, and here's what they were.
Yeah.
She has to pick up the pieces and figure this out, and everyone else who is around her who doesn't even know her, Maz doesn't know who she is. When they do that as well, it's okay. That seems like that's what it could be,
Mm-hmm.
But I always take from the parents' perspective. What if there's a story there? What if there's a reason? We go back to our original video, Mike, on Jakku.
Let's go.
Why was she left there? The Falcon is there. The number of things. The map to Luke Skywalker is there. I literally will keep going back to it.
Yeah.
I get that the Force maybe chose her because all of those things were there, right? So the Force chooses her to awaken. But Luke in the novelization starts to kind of talk about how he doesn't want to diminish the idea. Like, yes, she's a messenger and she was sent to Luke to kind of get him to play his part in his final act here. But that she herself is someone of significance.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't say that exactly, but it's sort of implied, that he doesn't want to take anything away from her. She's not just a messenger. She's more than that. She's a very strong, powerful, woman who is strong in the Force. I don't know, man. I
think that Jakku video we did is still relevant, and
I think it is too.
All of it could still very well play out.
I think it is too, and it's something to think about. So, because all of a sudden, if I told you a story about two parents who had that were Force sensitive, that were from Luke's academy, and he tells us a story that that before Ben had destroyed things, two of his apprentices had fled the academy. He didn't know why, but they had a premonition and a vision that they needed to safeguard their daughter from the downfall of Luke's academy.
That'd be sick.
And so they play it off that they are smugglers and that they are filthy junk traders, and they devise this plan to put her on Jakku. Maybe things didn't go right; they didn't make it back. I still think all of that is still
that's
feasible.
Still plausible. Look at.
Sorry,
I mean, my assumption is that the galaxy, maybe not the whole galaxy, but a lot of the galaxy knows that Han and Leia had a child who was Force sensitive, who Luke Skywalker anticipated to train, who turned to the dark side. About that same time, maybe the folks that you spoke of have this child. They're like, wow, she's like got some stuff going on. Look what is capable. Look what the dark side can do.
Yeah.
We can't let our child be influenced by this. We need to get them away because we sense a good in her, but maybe, people also thought Ben Solo maybe could be a savior for the Republic.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it could be anything. That's a lot to put in a movie.
Yeah, it is.
But
and by the way, one thing I want to check that what you said, the idea that the galaxy knows that Kylo Ren is Ben Solo, that's something I've been trying to figure out and think more about, because I think they might believe that he perished at the academy. And it was him, and maybe this is something the Solos have kept kind of quiet. So I don't know. We can think more about that later.
We know Lor Santeca knows who he is.
True. That is true. Exactly.
But he also knows
with Luke. Exactly. So there are people who knew that, but I kind of wondered how many people did know.
Yeah.
Because she's having an open conversation with Han about their son, and things. So
yeah.
And she was already kind of ostracized because her father is Darth Vader, and that was the whole bloodline piece where now she's going for first senator and then fall from grace a little bit, forms a resistance and what have you.
That's all still a little confusing to me. So I listened to The Force Awakens while doing some work the other day, and his infatuation with Darth Vader just still confuses me, because he was villainous, but in the end he does a good thing. I don't understand why he's hung up on becoming his grandfather, becoming greater than his grandfather. Like he still thinks he, died a villain. It's just,
he does. I think that's the key, though.
Yeah,
Luke and Leia. We go back to whose fault is it, right? Who's to blame that he became Kylo Ren? We've done videos on this in the past, and I truly believe they already sensed a dark side presence in him, so they send him to Luke, and then Luke's like, "Well, I'm sure as heck not going to mention his grandfather.
Yeah,
we're not going to talk about that." No one knew that Leia's father was Darth Vader, and he's Uncle Luke, and So, anyways, and they all believe that Anakin Skywalker, Luke's father, had perished, and Darth Vader. Those two are not. And the galaxy doesn't put those two together. Yeah. It's a big secret. Even Thrawn is starting to kind of piece together, this is Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader.
I can't wait for that.
Me neither. And it takes a while for him to get there. So, So I think, they shielded him from this. They didn't want him to know this information. So when he finds out that his Uncle Luke has betrayed him in a sense and has, senses the dark side in him, who's he going to turn to? He had just found out over the HoloNet that his mother's father was Darth Vader. That's his grandfather. And so he starts to look into that and seek it out.
And a lot of that was Snoke, too, telling him of his potential and that he's going to pretty much be the next Vader. We heard that in The Last Jedi. Yeah. So it can all be a little confusing, but it wasn't really flushed out anymore in The Last Jedi, which I was kind of hoping it would. But, That's
Yeah.
all right.
Well, anyways, thanks, Hammy. Though I appreciate the Twitter conversation, the back and forth, and
Did we even talk about the REYLO stuff?
we're going to talk a little bit about it. So our third pondering is REYLO happening?
Yeah.
And we have some good comments from Jory Webb and Dustin and some other folks on here. So
Rebecca Herford.
Yeah.
We got Jamie Vinegar's. I'm assuming that's how she pronounces her
I think
last
so.
name.
Yeah.
Had the best comment. It
Right.
just
On
said
REYLO.
barf. Period. I couldn't agree more. But you can't deny, and that's what everyone says. Like it's definitely a real thing. The shirtless scene, the novelization where they talk about touching, and Luke, telling Rey like you're doing this. You're pretty much falling for a pretty pair of eyes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
There's definitely something there that she's experiencing, and she even says, like, when Luke says that he's not gonna help or whatever, she's like, well, Ben Solo's our last hope then. Like there's an admiration there of just like his strength and his potential, and
Right.
But there's something else there. The shirtless scene kind of confirmed that
Absolutely.
in the movie.
Yeah, and I think, the little bits and pieces that we saw from the doc where he was like, you opened up to the dark side for a pretty pair of eyes. It's like,
Yeah.
I can't believe that was actually a line at one point, and then was, cut from the movie. That's great. That's a clear indicator that Luke then at least thought that there was an intimate relationship or connection of some kind between the two. And now this all could be a Leia, Luke kissing scene in front of 21B, in episode 5. So it could be a situation where they're related, or she's no one, or whatever. So I think it's still all up in the air, and there's a lot of decisions to be made about it. But it definitely seems like they're going that way. My follow up question to that was, what does Finn think about all this?
Oh wow!
What would Finn think about this situation? Rose very much, and I haven't quite necessarily got to that last piece where she's having a conversation when they kiss. She kisses Finn, and that's a big deal. It seems like it's a small little thing, but that's definitely something. He's getting admired by, by Rose. He's happy to see Rey. That maybe has turned into more of a friendship, but I don't know. Is it something that they've got us in a love triangle like I've never seen.
It's strange.
Now it actually really is. Could go a multitude of ways, and I guess maybe I'm forcing Finn back into the equation now. But why not?
Maybe it just. What if it just dies out? I mean, the movie with Finn and Rose. He's always saying, "I gotta get to my friend Rey.
Yeah,
gotta save Rey.
Where's Rey?
Where's Rey?" He's always thinking about Rey. But you don't really pick up a romantic.
No, you didn't get that in this.
In the movie, at least.
No, but you also got Rey saying to Chewie, "Yeah, tell him that when you see him next.
Check on Finn.
Sure, that sounds good." And we don't know what that conversation was. So all very interesting, and I still think there's something there, and it may be that Finn doesn't realize what he has with Rose, and he's still trying to seek after Rey, and he's taking for granted Rose, and maybe that's ends up being a piece to this. Or I wouldn't be surprised if Rey is falling, trying to make things work for Kylo, and he truly is just gone. He truly is just bad, and Finn force pulls a lightsaber.
Hello,
I'm just
that would be insane,
and takes on, and it's a rematch.
Well, the thing is too, it's
be great though.
The Rey Finn story. I mean, you got to remember, these are two people that really haven't had any relationships in their lives to this point. They find each other, and there's just this trust built within each other that it's almost like kind of a naive kind of thing. It's almost a little immature because they haven't experienced a whole lot of life, and they're kind of just, they found each other. They've depended on each other in this very brief moment. I don't know if it's so much of a romantic thing. Maybe we were making it that, and maybe it really isn't.
Right. It might not be. He is asking, "Do you have a cute boyfriend?" All that kind of stuff. He
does. That's true. That's
so it's playful.
Great point.
And she very much is like, no. So I would say a lot of the, he was coming on to her, but she was putting it down.
Yeah. None of your business.
Yeah. None of your business. And she's very much like, no, stop grabbing my hand. It's fine. I'm good.
Yeah.
Whatever. And so I think that is interesting.
It is.
Which makes me root for Finn that much more. But
Finn was not done justice in The Last Jedi, and it's too bad. Maybe his character can see some redemption in the last movie.
Yeah.
The thing with REYLO, though, back to that, something else that I didn't really pick up at the end of The Last Jedi when Kylo is facing Luke, and he's just like, no, like I won't be the last Jedi. Like the battles, the war's just begun, this and that, and Kylo's just like, I'll destroy her.
Yeah.
I'll destroy it all.
Yeah.
If there was there may be a Force connection still going on there. There ain't no love between these two anymore.
That's a really good point. He
said he's going to destroy her.
Yeah.
It's over. That connection may even be over, but I'm out.
That's a good point. I forgot about that.
I'm out on the REYLO thing. From this point on, yeah, they teased it. She saw him shirtless. She batted her eyes. It's over. It's time to fight now.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Let's go.
Wow. Okay.
It's good. It has to.
No redemption arc for Ben Solo.
No, he has to be the villain.
Okay. I kind of agree with you.
Right?
Yeah, but I'm torn.
Well, but that's something different. I mean, you're just.
I can't wait till we get into speculation after Solo.
I can't.
This summer, Mike and I have been like coming up with ideas and things that we want to kind of speculate about because we have an idea in our mind as to several ways it could go.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to have some fun with that. So
it's going to be great. We have months and months and months.
Yeah, we do.
Might as well wait.
Yeah. All right. So those are some of our ponderings. We meant to get into more of the Facebook thread and appreciate your guys' comments there. I believe Matt's actually going to do a follow-up video response to that and kind of read through the comments and go back and forth. So just a real quick 5-10 minute video that he'll do for you guys. And so when we come back, our major topic is going to be the new Solo Star Wars story trailer. So we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Hey there, Rebel Watch fans. This is Tiffany, your favorite Gryffindor from Swish and Flick, invading your podcast. I know you're a Star Wars fan, but are you also a fan of a certain guy with a lightning scar? Swish and Flick is a new podcast that is doing a complete chapter-by-chapter reread of the Harry Potter series. We are breaking down each chapter and diving into all the details, so be warned, there are spoilers. We are also doing bonus episodes on stuff like Fantastic Beasts, Universal Studios' Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and stuff like wand lore. So put down your lightsabers, pick up your wands, and find us at Swish and Flick Cast, Swish and Flick Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Tumblr, and Facebook. Podcasts are loaded every Sunday to major sites like iTunes, Podbean, and YouTube. Thank you so much for listening, and always remember, don't let the muggles get you down, and may the Force be with you.
Hey, welcome back. We are now into our major topic today is Solo. The Solo trailer has dropped, the official trailer, and we did our reaction. Check that out. It was a
mild reaction.
Well, yeah, but that's a good thing, I think. I mean, it was I was surprised. I was a little surprised.
I was too.
I hope I say this often when I watch trailers. I hope that we didn't get all the best moments.
Yeah,
they do that in trailers sometimes where the best lines are there, and I don't think that's the way that this is going to go. All right, I'll take a little quote from Last Jedi.
Come on,
and it's not going to go that way.
It's not going to go the way you think, man.
But it's interesting, and it's a heist, right? It seems like it's a heist.
It definitely feels like one, yeah.
The music was different. That felt good.
Mm-hmm.
So, what'd you think, Mike?
I think you're right about the joke. The 109-year-old Wookiee joke.
Yeah,
could be the best line in the whole movie.
It could be, and I'm worried that that's we got that, and that's our good chuckle, our good laugh, and we're done.
But you're right, though. There was a sense of surprise. I think we were shocked that we enjoyed it so much because the teasers haven't been that great.
Yes.
I was a little bit shocked by a lack of Han Solo's presence.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
He didn't speak a ton in it. The first, I don't know, quarter of the trailer was Qi'Ra.
Right. Yes.
I mean, I was kind of shocked, and I don't know. I think what's going to make this movie is not just going to be all in Aaron Reich being Solo. It's going to be the very nostalgic Chewie moments, even Lando, just the Falcon.
That's going to do it right there. The Millennium Falcon will do it.
Lando's just kind of just swagger. I mean, he doesn't need to sound like our original Lando, childish, but he has that. He's just carrying that demeanor, and that's
it's his body language.
It's recognizable.
He definitely. You're right. The voices are not going to match.
No.
But their body language and their mannerisms do. That's what's kind of cool.
Yes, and we just watched it again. Did you notice Alden Ehrenreich when they're walking into that like pub or whatever? He's got his hand on his belt buckle, just like Harrison Ford did. Yeah.
Yep.
So those little mannerisms it makes it relatable in his clothes, obviously, even his hair. But I don't know.
And I think there's going to be a lot of Wookiee humor, right? I think people have been talking about how it's going to be heavy with that.
Absolutely,
and I'm okay with that. One thing that kind of Woody Harrelson's character, gosh, I love Woody Harrelson so much, but he feels like sometimes the same character. I think that's his strength, though, right? Yeah, I mean, you look at something as silly as Zombieland. I know, and he's a mentor. He's that mentor that has very funny moments, but it also seems very wise. Yeah. That's just Woody Harrelson. I don't like even the movie Kingpin. We talked about this months and maybe a year ago at this point. Well, no, whenever it was announced. Even in Kingpin, he's some mentor who has just seen a lot, been through a lot, and he's always kind of a jaded character. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's so perfect because I don't know, Alden Ehrenreich. I don't get that from him, and he's supposed to be a young, optimistic Han Solo. So I think the casting is just perfect for if he is this mentor that it seems like he is. Okay, yeah, he is, but he is like the same character. Oh, he is. Hunger Games, Kingpin, Zombieland, like it's just but which is fine. I've liked him in all of those, you know. So I think I'll like him in this too. But it just for a second, it took me out of it, just because I know who he is, and so I think that's the thing. Sometimes looking back at how George how he did the casting for Star Wars, if it feels otherworldly and he wants to take you somewhere else, he didn't want you to be thinking about other movies you had seen these actors and actresses in. Is one of those things. So
could be genius though. Because they could set you up and just be like, oh, we know Woody's role here, and then he's the one that just backstabs Han.
Well, he's the one that gives him the line, basically that if you take one thing away from this is that, trust no one. Yeah. Anyone could betray you at any moment, and if you believe that, then you won't be disappointed or something like that. So we were kind of speculating as to who we thought that might be, and you thought it was Qi'Ra.
Qi'Ra. That would be cool.
Right. So, so it makes sense when he's a little reluctant to sort of, have a serious relationship, I guess, and things. And I think it might be Beckett, Woody Harrelson's character. I think it might actually be him. If he's the one giving the advice, sometimes that's the way it goes. But again, this will not do a Last Jedi on us. This will go somewhat the way we think. It's going to be kind of predictable, which is okay. Yep. A lot of fan service, and it's going to feel good. It's going to be a heist. They're going to do a job, pull it off. But we're going to see what happens here with Lando. Yeah. Because I wonder how the game unfolds, and I wonder if he loses the Falcon first, or if they go on some, so I don't know if they do this job together first. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, Qi'Ra seems to tell Han, I know this guy. He's the best smuggler around. Right. And it seems like they're implying it's Lando. Right. So he probably does help him with the job, and it
happens at the end.
Do you think it's at the end when the game probably happens?
Yeah. Well, I think it is. It's sort of almost like they have this, maybe it's not, I actually don't. I don't know, man. There might be a couple games. Sorry about that.
No, there could be.
There could be multiple different things. Yeah. So, but I think it's going to be at the end when he takes the Falcon. So
there's a scene where Alden Ehrenreich is going. He's walking into the cockpit and he's kind of grinning, looking around. Yeah. I wonder if that's just. I mean, it looks like he's he'll be in the Falcon a lot with Lando and his droid and maybe even Qi'Ra. But like at the end, I could just see him kind of like he did in The Force Awakens when he walked in the cockpit, just kind of looked and smirked.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how it ends.
Right.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. And he's got to hang his dice up, right? It's a big thing.
That has to be tied in, right?
Yeah.
It has to be.
It will be. It will be. I think once it's his, that's him making a claim.
Yeah.
You know, that this is mine now. You know,
It's so funny.
it's what he uses to win. You know,
It's perfect too,
Yeah.
because I never even really think like I'm thinking of like the fluffy pink dice
Yeah.
that people would put in their cars.
Right.
It's like the first. It's like it makes it theirs. It's
Right,
Like the
yeah.
first thing they do, they're 16. Like I'm gonna put. Well, maybe not so much anymore. But
Right,
Like
yeah.
they would put
That was
dice
us.
on the.
That was Mike. His were pink. You know, some nice pink dice.
I never even made that connection, but that's
Yeah.
That you're probably right. It's probably the first thing he does.
Yeah, yeah, and let's take this apart for a little bit
Yep.
because I really I was listening to Rebel Force Radio. They keep
plugging
they keep
away.
invading this podcast, and
Amen.
it's making me sick. No, I'm just kidding.
We love them.
But they were talking about a toy release or something, and it seemed like there was someone wearing a Mandalorian armor
Let's go.
in these toy releases, and it didn't look like Boba Fett though. It looked like it was just a Mandalorian. So I think we're going to have a couple different, types of some scoundrel characters, different people who play different roles. The big question we asked it earlier in this our earlier podcast or segment is Boba Fett going to be there?
Yeah.
Is he going to make an appearance? And I say yes.
Maybe the armor. Maybe he
Mike says
doesn't.
patience.
You have to.
Yeah.
Because it probably won't be a lot. But what if his armor, like in Empire or something, is like updated? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's the old armor. Maybe it's his maybe it's his Django's armor in this movie. You know?
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm trying
not.
to think back to Clone Wars and whether. Yeah, I don't know. We had to look into that a little bit more. I don't know.
I can't
It's a
remember.
good- I'd have to look into it. But yeah, it would be kind of neat. Maybe it's not who we expect or whatever at first.
Yeah.
Or we see him we see him without the armor at first, and then later
cool.
on he's in the armor. I don't know.
That'd be crazy.
But I think we're going to see him. I think we're going to see the armor. So for sure. But do you think we're going to see the Hutts?
I feel like you have to. I feel like they are the crime syndicate that they're talking
Yeah.
about. You know?
Yeah, I think that would be whether it's Jabba, whoever it may be. I think we're going to have the Hutts involved for sure. So
Have to.
right, I mean, wouldn't that be kind of that would?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking of things that they didn't put in this trailer, and if they played it safe and they saved the good stuff, it's things like a Boba Fett and Jabba the Hutt and all of that goodness.
I mean, you probably
So-
won't see. I don't know. Do you think like a character like Bossk? I don't think they would.
Yeah,
They're
I
not
mean,
going to have major roles, but we
No.
will see them probably.
right. Yeah, or that's just referenced as in. They were when Tobias Beckett was pulling off another job.
Yeah.
They had to evade that bounty hunter, for example.
Yeah.
that could be something.
That would be tight.
Yeah, L3 seems pretty cool. The droid, Lando's droid, pretty powerful.
He reminds me
Pretty
of
strong.
K2 kind of.
Yeah, he does.
Little funny, but he's also out there kicking butt. We haven't
Yep.
really seen droids fight a lot in huge like feature films.
Right. Yeah.
Which is sweet.
Yep. That absolutely. What'd you think of Chewbacca's wife?
You know what is? It makes me think that the Christmas special is canon.
It's canon. That's for sure.
Let's go. It makes me think it's canon. It makes me think Chewie has a family out there.
Oh, he absolutely does. He absolutely
know?
does. We actually got a reference to his son in Aftermath.
Yes, you're right.
Remember that?
Because doesn't Han feel bad and he's got to go save?
Yeah,
Got to go save him.
he does. Yeah,
So you're right. You're absolutely right.
yeah.
Interesting. That was an intimate. I mean, you see Chewie hugging. This was a very like the kind that you just you go to kiss your wife on the head or something.
Oh,
type
yeah.
thing, going out on a big mission.
Yeah.
It was very intimate.
It was.
You
It
know?
was. Yeah.
You see him giving a lot of side hugs and stuff to people, but never
Right. This was like a.
like I'm gonna miss you. I may not come back.
Right. Yeah. It looked like there was like a blaster fire going on around him too. So. Yeah. Interesting.
It was.
Man, dude, there's just so much still. Like they did a good job of not showing us too much.
Yes.
I hope, You know, if they did show us, like I said, the best lines or the best scenes, that's not good. You said earlier, who was it? John Campea,
John Campea
was talking about the
He's
possibility of what was it?
Space whales.
Yeah.
Which, when they were flying, it kind of looked. I don't think they were going through hyperspace, but it kind of reminded me a little
Storm of
bit.
something. Yeah.
Of the space whales from Rebels.
Yeah.
That would.
That was funny. That'd be the last thing we would expect, right? Is for them to come out next to the Star Destroyer there.
You didn't expect it at the end of Rebels?
No, I did not actually at all.
You never know.
It was neat to see the unfinished ships, right? You got to see the unfinished Star Destroyer.
That was really cool.
That was cool. So they're working on that. We'll probably get to see behind the fence a little bit, or behind the curtain of this Empire, right? We'll get to see some of their interactions with Han and things.
There's a scene. A lot of people are like breaking this trailer down. There's a scene where Alden. It's where he's going for his pistol. Like a standoff. They're freeze framing it on his face. He kind of looks terrified. Like,
I thought he looked really angry.
Really angry. That could be
terrified. Terrified too. Sure.
But not a typical.
No, he did not.
Reaction that we would see for Han Solo.
Yeah, I thought he had like. It seemed really personal to me. So I thought something's really pissed him off.
Yeah.
Here. They either have one of his friends, or something's wrong, or he's been double crossed, and there's no more. It was kind of different. It was almost like normally he doesn't let that show, but here it looked like he was. I mean, he looked pissed and upset, and I don't know.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I noticed that as well. I thought that was interesting.
And some time has settled. We've been seeing some positive reaction.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one person say they hated the trailer.
Yeah.
Looks like garbage. I'm super bored. Most people are saying, wow, way better than the teaser. This is getting me pumped.
Yes, exactly. And I think you just got to lower the bar a little bit. It's just going to be a straightforward, we're going to, it's a heist.
I mean, the reaction, though, you were saying great Star Wars movie or greatest Star Wars movie of all time.
I was kind of messing around.
But seriously,
greatest Star Wars movie of all time. No. There's no way. But it will be enjoyable. It'll be fun for kids. It'll be fun for us to just take a look at it, see. It expands things a little bit. We get a backstory. We get introduced to some different worlds. I think we'll see Corellia, right? I think we'll see where Han sort of comes from.
Well, and here's
cool.
Here's another thing: is this? I'm kind of tend to forget this. This is the first character-focused standalone of Star Wars, and we've heard there's plans for an Obi-Wan, a Yoda. This could set different expectations. If this does well when it wasn't expected to, and they take someone like Han Solo, someone where really no one really needed to know his backstory. If that's successful, don't you think that pretty much guarantees like Obi-Wan Kenobi standalone?
Yeah, what's interesting though with the Obi-Wan, and I think the reason they're kind of holding off on that is this is a Han Solo origin story, and Yoda would be Yoda's origins.
Yeah.
Boba Fett, we would see, we've seen him, but we would see what happened to him. We've seen some of that in Clone Wars, but we would see more of how that plays out.
Yeah.
So with Obi-Wan, you'd be getting his later life. You'd just be getting this filling in the gap. And that's kind of what Rogue One did, so they can still totally do that. But yeah, I don't know.
It'd be interesting because you'd be taking the Rogue One approach of filling in a period of time, but you're also getting that character focus that Solo. I think they've been a little skeptical about saying, "Hey, we're going to do a Kenobi film." I mean, there's only been
if
reports.
This does well, for sure. Then
Absolutely, right?
If it does decent,
I don't want a Yoda film.
I mean, I would have preferred a Yoda film over a Han Solo film.
It would have to be a full CG Yoda.
It would be. It'd have to be. Frank Oz actually said that. He said there's no way that that you could do puppet Yoda. Just no way.
Yeah.
With the things that you would want to do with him. So
yeah.
And he said he'd be open to doing the voice for sure. Obviously, we would need that. But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So I hope the reaction is good out there still, and we'll see how it goes. The books are going to also give us some more insight as to what may be going on. We get the last shot, which is coming out the next Tuesday. So Mike and I'll be reading that, and hopefully we can get back to you pretty quick on that.
Pretty much a month from today, we're going to start hearing reactions from that festival, film festival.
True.
Is that's interesting in itself. We talked about that in our prior segment, but that blows me away for all the issues that this is supposed to have.
My initial reaction, I mean, I was like, okay, yeah. I mean, obviously, we kind of really get into it because it's the first time we saw it, so our reaction video, But then after we slept on it, Mike and I talked some more. I'm just sort of like, I'm still nervous, and I do just want it to be good because I liked it, and I want to like it, and I want it to be fun. So I feel like there needs to be some real, some twists and turns. Basically, what I'm hoping to see is that Han is seemingly getting played.
Yes.
Seemingly getting played this whole time, right? He's the young guy in there, whatnot. And we start to feel, oh, no, this sucks. This is happening, that's happening. But really, he has, an ace up his sleeve. He's got something that he can come through in the end, and he knows how to kind of take control here, and he wins ultimately. So you hope. I don't know. That's what I hope for him. It's almost like an Ocean's 11 sort of like, you see all the different ways it could go wrong. You see them planning it. Then you see them execute it, and then there's some twist there at the end where, it's somebody betrays somebody, but then they were planning on that. Our hero was planning on someone to betray him. I don't know. That's what I think may happen.
And he's going to get into some real trouble here, but in episode 4, he's still walking around. It's not like he's in hiding or something. So, no. So it's... I don't know how it could be too bad, like unless he killed everybody.
No. And there are years between that too. So
true.
We may not see. I think we may actually see him. Maybe he might drop his load. He might actually at the first sign of Imperial. Star Destroyer.
That's an interesting choice of words.
Drop his load. So if that happens, then. I don't know. Then it's almost like with our buddy Z-Man, who we're reading about in Legends.
Yeah,
you get in with the exchange, as they called it back under the Old Republic.
Good point.
And then he's got to work out from underneath that debt. And so if that's what he gets into with the Hutts, then okay, he's got to work off his debt, and there's just never really a way. The jobs are so difficult that you lose some cargo along the way. It's back and forth, but he's got to be a notorious smuggler.
Yes,
so he's got to be good at what he does.
He's got Greedo out there looking for
him.
I know. There's another character I want. I want to see Greedo. I want to see why Greedo wants him. Ocho por solo. I want to see.
Listen,
tell Jabba I've got his money. That's another character I want to see. But you're right. There has to be something left out there that it just kind of makes you go,
right.
He's a wanted man.
Yeah, I don't have it with me, but so oh man. I think it would be neat to kind of see, and also some of those old lines there, right? It'd be nice to kind of see some of those lines come back and to hear some of those references. It sounds like one of the lines I caught. What I think they said, "I've got a good feeling about this."
Yeah,
right. So
absolutely
the reverse on "I've got a bad feeling about this."
Was he the first to say it in episode 4? Is that something they got from Han?
No, I think. Okay, gosh, you put me on the spot. Why do you do that? Why do you put me on the spot like that?
Questions.
We have no show
all the
notes.
Time.
I know when Luke says, when he sees the moon, he says, "I've got a bad feeling about this," doesn't he? Right there, isn't he the one that says that?
I thought it was Han who said that.
Han says it in the same movie. He says it later, I think.
We'll have to fact check this because I don't know. Did they learn it from Han? He's optimistic, but now not so much. Not so much.
Do you want to put down a little
wager?
Little wager here.
How many Republic credits?
I'm almost positive Luke says it first.
Holy cow!
I'm almost positive. I'm going on.
I think you're right. You probably are right.
I could be wrong. I honestly
What's the
can't.
bet?
No idea.
Blue for the boy, huh? No?
No. Chance Cube? All right.
Chance Cube. Maybe we'll see Sebulba.
Sebulba. Do you think we'll see a pod race? Do you think we'll see some pod racing?
Definitely
Wouldn't that be
some
something?
speeder racing, I think.
Like just off in the distance, like they're
Crazy.
running like a job, but maybe a small job, like a pre-job before the big job, right? And you sort of get some pod racing in there. You know, they're doing this, stealing some money, you know, or something, some credits to get the supplies or what they need for the big job, you know, and it's at a pod race.
Would
You know what I
there?
mean?
Yeah. Will we see? Here's something. As
Yeah.
will we hear any reference to the Jedi? Will this be the first
Dang.
Star Wars movie without a lightsaber ever? I'm not talking a lightsaber fight, even the presence of a lightsaber. And will we even hear? I mean, Rogue One. I mean,
Absolutely.
you don't even hear. I mean, you hear reference to the Jedi and the Kyber crystals.
Absolutely. Yep.
What are we going to refer to here? Is it going to be Vader? Is it going to be? I don't know.
Man.
Without
Because
the Jedi here,
Han-
maybe there's no order, this and that. You know, maybe Woody, references back or something.
Hokey religions. I don't know.
He doesn't really believe in it.
No. So it could be something that's or maybe he's heard other people kind of talking about it in passing, and it's just it's make believe. You know.
Yeah.
You could get a small reference like that maybe, but I highly doubt there'll be a lightsaber. I'm almost 95% sure there was no chance actually that we're going to see a lightsaber.
Zero chance.
Unless it's
Obi-Wan.
No, unless they're trafficking a lightsaber or a Kyber crystal.
Kyber crystals. That'd be cool.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be
crazy
Yeah.
if they're smuggling Kyber crystals.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, that'd be something.
Well, I mean, they use
I don't know.
it's crazy because you see in the Last Jedi they're talking about like I don't know that big cannon that they have at the end, like Finn says it's old Death Star tech. Like there's other things that they use the Kyber crystals for. So I mean,
for sure,
the Empire used them for the Death Star. And
did you see that almost like it was like the knuckle grips, right? That blade.
That was crazy.
What did that guy have? That seemed Jedi lightsabery like.
You know what it reminded me of?
I didn't know what it was. Yeah,
Rebels. You know, it was like that whip, that like orange whip thingy. That's what it reminded me of, and it seemed kind of like an electromagnetic.
Something. Yeah, for sure. I get you. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
So no Jedi reference.
There will be
reference.
a hokey religion reference.
Maybe Han,
but I don't know if we can call that a Jedi reference. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe Han is just like, man, I heard these stories when I was younger, and Woody's like, hokey religion.
Well, it'd be like if someone said, if they're still using the "May the Force be with you" phrase.
Yeah.
If they use that, and he shrugs it off, and I don't believe in that hokey religion. Crap or something. You know what I mean?
It'd be a cool throwback.
Then there we go. Okay. That's neat. But yeah, I think that's about it.
Interesting.
No lightsaber though.
No,
and no Darth
lightsaber.
Vader. No Darth Vader.
No, because he.
No way.
If he saw any interactions with Darth Vader, I think he would be a little not so.
Well, I think they know of. I think everyone knows of.
They know of him, yeah,
right,
but they haven't seen him choking people out with a force or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think they. No, that's not just. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, if you disagree, let me know in the comments.
Interesting.
Okay? So, yeah. Any other thoughts, buddy? Before we.
No, that was something that just kind of popped up. These things just tend to pop up.
You're honestly getting just like a. And I apologize for the. Stuttering and stammering.
Your load.
I'm dropping my load. Yeah,
dropping your load.
At the first sign of Imperials.
Hello.
And yeah, so we're just kind of we're just thinking through this because we watched it last night and then we got back today after work and we took another look at the trailer and we'll keep watching it this week and we'll keep kind of wrapping our minds around what may come and hopefully next Tuesday we'll grab the book The Last Shot and we'll dive into that. So
wow, so many references.
So many references. I just realized how many there were. Oh, boy. All right. Anyways, all right, guys. Thanks so much for checking out our podcast today. Please hit us up on patreon.com /Rebel Watch. We have the option on there for you guys to ask questions on the show, to submit some theories and things. We'll read them. Mike and I will read those. We also have a number coming up soon, so you can call and leave a voicemail. Mike and I, we've got some nice headphones, and we'll be listening to that as live on the podcast.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of cool. So always upgrading here on Rebel Watch. Remember the days? Do you remember the days when we were using our iPhones to film this?
And let's be honest, though, the quality was stunning for how
stunning.
little we knew.
It was so good.
And then Apple screwed us over with an update.
Yeah, they did.
Then we had to invest a lot of money. Compliments of Walt Disney.
Yeah,
but
yeah. And our patrons. Thank you.
And our patrons.
But we had like all sorts of dark side forces penetrating the
There was a lot of penetration.
The podcast. Yeah.
A lot of loads being dumped.
It was not good. So, anyways. All right, guys. Again, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more content. And as always, may the Force be with you.